Hey everyone, hopefully you've had a good week. My name is Jake. I'm starting this channel called Jake Trades Invests in hopes that I can provide some weekly technical analysis on the markets and on some of the commodities. I'm also going to be providing my opinion on where I think the prices could be headed. I want to disclaim that I am not a financial advisor, so please trade at your own risk. Also, if you find value in any of this content, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, all that obligatory stuff that YouTube wants us to say. And with that, let's get right into some of the charts. We're going to start here with gold. Um, Gold has been in an uptrend for the last year or so since it's broken out from its 2100 level. As you can see, what we're seeing currently is a triangle pattern forming with a little bit of selling pressure as it came into the upper resistance zone here. So we could see it break through and pull back and retest. We could also see some pull back down towards the 50 EMA and the support trend zone here at the bottom before breaking out to higher highs. But I do expect gold to break higher in the short to medium term. Let's move on to silver. Silver, kind of the same story. It's been in an uptrend over the last year or so after breaking out of its 4-year kind of consolidation pattern here. Everyone that follows commodities, I'm sure, is aware of these patterns in these charts. What we can see here, silver also started to kind of sell off as it approached the upper resistance zone here. So similar to gold, it could pull back in the next few days to next couple of weeks before breaking to higher highs. But I do expect silver to continue higher. We'll look at platinum next. I'm going to go to a weekly chart so we can see a full picture here. Over the last 4 years, platinum has been consolidating after breaking this long downtrend triangle kind of falling wedge pattern here. We broke out and we've kind of been consolidating sideways. Every time we approach 900, we kind of bounce back from that. And you can see the downward resistance zone on top here as well. We had a strong week this week, so I would expect in the next couple of weeks to months for this pattern to break to the upside as well. Possibly break out, hit around 1100 or a little higher, maybe retest before heading higher. But I do expect platinum to trend higher as well. For copper, go back down to the daily. For the last 3.5, 4 years, we've kind of been consolidating sideways between around 480 on the upper side to $4 on the lower side. We've also got this support zone here in an inclining fashion. Every time it comes down into this zone, you can see the buyers kind of step in, purchase it, and the price goes back up. We've just recently this week broken out of this resistance area here. We're above the moving averages, so it's likely that we may consolidate, maybe a little pullback here before gaining some more momentum to head higher and kind of retest this 480 to 490 zone. But I do expect copper to head higher as well. Let's move on to crude oil. Crude oil is also showing a little bit of momentum. Earlier in the week, I would have thought we would have kind of tested this area here with the EMAs and fallen back, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Crude oil kind of broke through yesterday with a larger candle into that resistance zone. We did have some selling at the top, but overall, if that momentum can continue into next week and we can break into this 80 to 90 area, these moving averages will start to turn higher in the next coming weeks. And so as long as we can hold kind of in the 80 to 90 zone, I think oil will also be heading higher. For natural gas, we had a really strong day on Thursday and Friday, kind of bouncing off of this support area here. We also retested this area around 350. We kind of got some large candles over the last week or two as momentum kind of started to pick up. But as as long as the price can hold above these areas of $4 at the highs to 350s at the lows, I think natural gas has the potential to run. The next area would be around this $5 mark, maybe even overshoot it a little bit into the 550 area if the momentum really gets behind it. But right now, natural gas is looking really good for continuing higher in the short to medium term. So now let's move over to some of the indices. We're going to start with the S&P 500. Since late 2023, we've been in an uptrend with kind of this support zone, kind of hanging around the 200 EMA, near it at least. It looks like price may be coming back to kind of retest that area somewhere around 5,800 down to 5,700. We've got a little bit of support and resistance here in the gray box. I would look for price to come down into that area, retest it. We'll see if it can hold. As long as it holds around those areas and kind of stabilizes, I would expect more upside to the S&P 500. However, if it starts to break down below 5650, below the 200 EMA, we might have a little room for concern as far as the downside goes. For Nasdaq, it's a similar story. We've been in this uptrend since end of 2022. Again, we have a lower support area here, kind of following the 200 EMA. Kind of the same to the S&P 500. I expect Nasdaq to maybe come down to this 20,000 area. That's a good psychological level. But we also have a support resistance area marked in here in this gray rectangle. So it would kind of make sense for it to come back, retest it. As long as it holds, which there's a good chance it will. We've got the support area, 200 EMA, the support and resistance zone in this box, all kind of hitting in this $20,000 area. Very likely that the Nasdaq would hold here. If it holds, again, would expect a bounce, maybe a little bit of consolidation for a couple of weeks before continuing to head higher. However, if it breaks down, that'll be a different story. For the Dow Jones, it looks like we're currently testing the support zone, maybe heading down towards the 200 EMA around 41,000. It looks like we kind of fell from the highs, did a little bit of a consolidation in this area between the 150 EMAs, which ultimately led to a breakdown here with a larger candle. So again, right now it looks like it's testing that support zone uptrend area in the orange lines. However, with that momentum on Friday, it looks like it could possibly fall a little bit further, maybe to 41,000. We'll see what happens in the coming week or two and see if the 200 EMA can act as support. As far as the Russell goes, we're also in the support zone, also bouncing off the 200 EMA. It looks like there was some buying coming in at the end of the day Friday, after breaking out of this flag pattern here. We'll see if this continues to hold or if we head lower. Similar story for all the indices. They all seem to be falling towards some support areas. So we'll give them a week or two, maybe 3, to see if they can consolidate and gain a little bit of support and gain some momentum back to the upside. As far as Bitcoin goes, I don't trade Bitcoin or anything like that, but I know a lot of people are interested in it, so I figured I would give my opinion. So it looks currently like we're holding around 92,000, just above the 50 EMA. It's possible that we continue to kind of bounce around sideways here for a little while. As long as the 92,000 area holds, Bitcoin could potentially head higher, back up and test the 110,000 all-time highs. However, if this support area starts to break, it's possible that Bitcoin could fall potentially back towards the 73,000 mark where the 200 EMA is at. We'll just have to wait and see how much momentum gets behind Bitcoin in the coming weeks. So that's really all I have for this week. I appreciate anyone that tunes in, checks it out. Again, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Um, just want to jump on here on a weekly basis, provide my opinion, my analysis on the main markets. Um, and that's really the goal for this channel, is just to have somewhere to share my opinion on what I think the markets are going to do. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And we'll see you again next week.